Shimmy says, ask me almost anything.
Hey everyone, it's Shimmy and I'm back here with my second barrel of my double-barreled Shimmy Says for this week. You know, as I said in the first part, I'm here in London at KubeCon. I woke up early this morning, I couldn't sleep, and of course the BBC was filled with information about the U.S. administration's tariffs yesterday. It's not the administration, it's Trump's tariffs yesterday. And I watched it. I watched as world leaders weighed in across the globe about what a bad thing this is for the global economy, including the U.S. economy. And then I went online and I looked, where did these numbers come up with? They seemed pretty arbitrary. And, you know, and he held up this chart because he likes to teach at a second grade level. And he held up a chart and I got a hold of the chart, or a blow up of the chart. And he claims that, being very generous, he's only tariffing countries at 50% of the rate that they tariff us. And I know some of you out there are looking at that chart and saying, well, that's pretty fair. We're only tariffing them at 50% of what they tariff us. Please don't be that ignorant or be that fool. That chart is full of crap. It's not real tariffs. It's Trump and his cronies' approximation of what they think the real cost of doing business in those countries are. But it's not even that. In typical Trump fashion, right? If there's a shortcut to be had, he does it. Here's what you got to do to figure out where he came up with those numbers. You take the total amount of exports or imports in from the country. Divide that by our trade deficit, and that's what he claims is the real tariff from that country. I have it posted on my Facebook. I'll put it out here on LinkedIn too. It's a nonsensical formula that has no bearing on tariffs or what there really is. He's really trying to just hit countries who have higher or better trade deficits with us. It's wrong. It's wrong for the world. It's wrong for the U.S. It's wrong for our economy. And it's going to hurt disproportionately. It's going to hurt poorer people, where this hits them in the pocketbook and they can't afford to buy things that they bought before. It's really, as I've said before, it's going to force our allies and countries that aren't our allies to now band together and exclude the U.S. from trade alliances. It makes us a less trustworthy partner in the world. In spite of what he says, we cannot, this is a small world. U.S. isn't going to do it alone. It boggles my mind how people are trying to buy into this. Interestingly, there was one country in the whole world. He tariffed empty islands with only penguins on them. But one country in the whole world he didn't levy tariffs on. You could probably guess what that country is. Russia. One has to ask themselves, if he tariffed everyone, North Korea, Iran, why didn't he tariff Russia? Look, there's a lot of rumors that swirl around about him and his connections to Russia. But I don't know how much more proof you need. This is suspect at the very least. This is something that needs to be investigated. It's not my job to do that. But I do think we're all going to suffer. You know, he tried to make a claim that it was the lack of tariffs that led to the Great Depression, when most economists and everything I learned in school says that tariffs were a cause of the Great Depression. I hope they're not a cause of another Great Depression here, not just in the U.S., but around the world. But as I said in part one, this isn't going to get fixed by putting our head in the ground and waiting for him to go out of office. This is a time, you know, like Thomas Paine said, right? It's not the time for the summer patriot. We need to stand up for who we are and what we believe in. Look, take the time to find the truth and not believe the lies. Do what Americans have been doing for 250 years. We outcompete the competition. We out innovate the competition. We don't raise barriers and walls to keep the competition out. We bring it on and we compete. And that's what this country's about. It's time we stand up and stand out, as I said in the first part, because if we don't, who will? That's it for Shimmy Says this week. I hope you guys take this to heart, and I see more people out there standing up and standing out.
Shimmy says, shimmy says, shimmy, shimmy, shimmy says, ask me almost anything.